So the downside to old equipment is you got to work on it. It's a sunny day, and it would be a good day to be out cutting wood and pulling wood. But you know, the flip side is that if to buy a dozer that doesn't need any work is like a couple $100,000 now, and there's really not that much money sitting in the forest around here. At least not enough for one man to get after it. Come on, you sticker, get off of there. At least not enough for one man to get after it and convert it into that much cash. If there was, then there'd be a lot of nice machinery sitting around here. There's a lot of people logging. There's a lot of clapped out old iron. So I'm not the only one to come to this conclusion. But it could be worse. This has been such a good machine to me. I have no idea how many hours, but it's worn out. It's worn out 3 different trunnion balls in the 6-way, at least. Because that's a cat ball that's been welded up once. So it wore out at least 1 Komatsu ball, at least 1 cat ball. Then it got welded up and wore out again. And I've done probably the 4th improvement, minimum 4th improvement. And it's on its at least 2nd set of rails. Who knows how much other stuff. I'm going to say 15, 20,000 hours. And it runs like a top. So, you know, got to take the good with the bad. I'd be pretty wore out by the time I got done paying off a new dozer. So I don't have that kind of energy. I got more energy to change that water pump on a paid off machine. I never made payments on this. I bought it in cash. Yeah, it was hard to part with the money, but not really. Is it hard to part with money? I think it's a lot of fun. You know, it's exciting when you let go of a big chunk of money. You're hopefully dragging home some new good piece of junk that you're excited about. So my wife always thinks of it as, oh, you spent the money. No, I didn't spend the money. It's still sitting here. In fact, it appreciated. The machine's worth twice what I paid for it, and it's been paying all along as you use it. So the money's not gone when you turn it into a machine. You turn it into a machine, the money's sitting on your trailer. And then you can extract more money. Now, if you had a $10,000 bill, can you make change from that? Can you extract $500 this week from a $10,000 bill, and next week is it a $10,500 bill? No, you can't. You can't do that. With machinery, you can run the machine, extract value, put cash in your pocket by running the machine, and inflation makes the machine worth more over time. So, I mean, if you're a working man and you don't mind wrenching and having the problems that come with being a heavy equipment owner, it's pretty good money in it. First thing, pull your grill off, 4 bolts, pull your grill so you can get to the radiator drain at the bottom. I had to rotate mine, but I think it's a 17 millimeter bolt to unscrew it. It's like a big industrial petcock. Force a 3/8 hose on there. Mine was plugged up, but I just shot air into the hose. When you hear bubbles going up through the radiator, it's going to get flowing, so just put you a bucket right in the center like that. It all fit in a 5-gallon bucket. There will be coolant still left in the head. When you pull the pump, it's going to dump out on the ground, so if you want to catch that, be ready for it. I left my belly pan on because it's a pain in the butt to get it off, and I just put it back up. I don't want to take it off again. So first thing, you got to remove the screen and then the shroud. If you separate it, if you leave it bolted, this will not come out. If you separate it, you can work them out through the top. Shut up, pig. God. So you can pull that out from the top, pull your scatter shield, your shroud, your hose, swing your alternator back, and then take a piece of rope and hook it over the fan blade. Just put a loop and hook it over the fan blade so that it binds up. And then you can pull your, so it's all off and it's sitting right here. You're gonna have 6 bolts inside this hub. Obviously the machine's all metric. Then you pull your fan off, which is pretty heavy. And the next thing that's gonna be in there is this aluminum hub, which looks like that. So swing the rope out of your way, and then grab that with channel locks from the side. Pull out these bolts. They're 12 millimeter heads, and then the pulley will be free. It'll probably be kind of rusted. You work the pulley off. You have to take the pulley off to get at the you have to take the pulley off to access these other bolts. This water pump is different. It's a 6D95L engine, I think. Komatsu 6-cylinder. People think it's a Cummins, but it's not. And it's in a lot of excavators, but the water pump for the excavators, which is easily found and cheap and plentiful, it does not have this. It's a different water pump. You need one that's got this little elbow comes down here. And I'll get the part numbers. I'll start calling those out in a little bit in the next segment of the video. And when you do this, take the time to get in there with a wire brush and scrub out all that crap that's going to be clogging up your radiator for sure. Now, if your machine has got enough hours to wear out a water pump, the bearing inside the water pump, it's got enough hours to wear out also the bearing that's inside of the tensioner. Now, that tensioner, if the camera will focus, you'll see that pulley is worn out so bad that the belt, that's a B belt, and it's sitting way down in the groove, bad enough that it's wrecking the backside. It's plucking the backside of the belt off. This bearing, only Komatsu has it. Koyo Japan, that's all it says on it. There's no numbers. So Komatsu is controlling the supply of these bearings in order to time, obsolescence, basically. If you had a rock quarry or something, if your mechanic, if your dealer said, hey, that part's in LA, what are you going to do? I mean, you're going to go get another machine. When it's in LA, it's time to go get another machine if you're really in business. Now, I can find this aftermarket for $125 plus shipping and tax and all that, or $190 from Komatsu. Then add in the pulley, which I haven't even started looking for. I just said forget it. There's no freaking way that I'm spending that kind of money to tension a belt when you can tension a lawnmower belt for nothing. So it's my machine. I'm keeping it forever. I'm gonna modify it to continually keep it running affordably. So I got $30 in a pulley. I got $12 in a belt. It's a B54, 54-inch long B belt is what I matched it up to, and I'm pretty sure that's going to work okay. Same bore, or same OD, 5/8 bore. So I'll make a bracket, put a bolt in, and we'll be done. When my kid is having to change that pulley out, he'll be thankful that he's not buying this crap, because you won't even be able to find the part numbers by the time. If I replace all this, the next time it goes, he's going to be in a bind. Why would I leave my kid in trouble? He'll be able to get that anywhere. I didn't even have to order that. I got it in town. Now, as far as the pump goes, yeah, you can press that off the shaft. You can press the hub off and rebuild the water pump, but I couldn't find the parts, but I could find the pump. So the pump was only the pump's going to be under $200, brand new. I'm just going to go with that. As far as taking this off, if you want to stay OEM, the fat side of the flange, there's thick and thin. The fat side goes toward the bearing housing. There's a register on the back side, so you're gonna you can start this way, put this on press plates, push from the back side of the bearing, push it straight out, and it'll come off with the pulley, and then you can go and push through the center with the pulley. I did it a little backwards because I didn't know. I thought there was a snap ring in here. I got a parts breakdown page from the dealer sent to me, and I didn't notice that it was spec'd for Zimbabwe. The pump spec was for Cuba, and the idler spec was for Zimbabwe, or maybe vice versa. And that was why I just couldn't find any of the part numbers. I finally called the dealer back again. I was expecting two bearings. I was expecting two different bearings and a screw-on cap, and it was totally different. So when I pushed that bearing out, I said, this ain't right. I called the Komatsu dealer back, and I got a different guy, and I said, hey, man, this ain't right. And he got into it, and He sent me a page with the American spec, which I don't know why I didn't get that in the first place. It's not like I'm calling from Zimbabwe. But he sent me the American spec page, and I did get this part number. So this is still available. It's just outrageously expensive. If you're poor, you ain't trying to have crap like that. You're trying to have cheap crap like that. All right, on to the part numbers. This is all the notes that I've got on this. This is all the Zimbabwe and Cuba time wasting I've done. I mean, you know, the files are in my phone, so I wrote it down on a paper so that I have an easier time searching it. 6206-61-1504 is the correct number for the water pump. Friday Parts seems to be the cheapest place to find that right now. And the idler bearing OEM is 6206-816320. From Komatsu is 186 plus tax and shipping, or you can find it aftermarket. This video is taking up a lot of space on my phone that I need back, and it's going to be a while before I have the money for the pump. So I'm gonna wrap this video up. We'll call it part 1, and then I'll do part 2 later. Hope this helps somebody. Stay after it. Thank you, and God bless.